Welcome back to Julie's Wreath Boutique. Today I'm going to show you how to make this adorable little bunny hanger, wreath, whatever you want to call it. Now, we're going to use something a little bit non-traditional for this kind of hanging wreath. We're going to use embroidery hoops. So, do you have some extra fabric like I do laying around, or some maybe extra yarn from a project to make a little tail, some really cute ribbon that you've been dying to use? Well, this is the project for it. So I hope you stay tuned and let's make a bunny together. Okay, so we're gonna make this really cute bunny, wall hanging, I guess you could call it. It's a different version of a wreath, but I know that a lot of you at home right now have a stash of your favorite fabrics. So I'm not calling anybody out, but you know who you are. Let's just be honest. This was a project I've had in mind for quite a while, and I've seen it done online before. So this is just kind of my take on it. We're going to take embroidery hoops or cross-stitching hoops, is what I would refer to it. This is what my mom used to use when she would cross-stitch. She would put her cross-stitch fabric in, and then she would do her designs. But we're going to use this and show you how to make a bunny hanging wreath with it. So what I'm going to do is I've just got a little bit of this fabric, and I'll be honest, I picked these two fabrics out because it reminds me of my childhood, and I just remember these floral prints being so vibrant, and they're really kind of making a comeback again. So all we're going to do is you just are going to loosen up your embroidery hoop here. This is an 8-inch, so we're going to use an 8-inch and a 6-inch. And so all you're going to do is you're going to decide, okay, where in the fabric do I want the design to be? So I'm going to take this underneath here, and I really don't want like the rose like right in the center. I want it kind of off-centered, but still the focal point. So I think this is pretty much a good spot. So I'm going to just take my wreath form or my embroidery hoop. I see I'm so stuck with the wreath form thing. And I did iron this material before I put this together. So, and when you pull on it, you're just going to pull on it. So this is on snugly. It's not tight by any means. We have to tighten our bracket up, but I'm just going to kind of pull on it to make sure that that's the design I want, and it looks pretty good. So all I'm going to do is just start to tighten this little mechanism at the top with the screw in it. So as I tighten that, it's just going to make this tighter, and I'm going to keep pulling a little bit just to make it nice and tight. Okay, so this is pretty easy. This is not a difficult project to do. And I just thought, let's do something different. And we've got lots of things that we could be making for the spring. So I'm just going to tighten that up just a little bit. That feels pretty good. So I'm going to take this, and I'm just going to go around it with my rotary cutter. And this is why I like these mats, because you can do just about anything with them. So I really like it. So, okay. So now we need to cut off this excess of the fabric. So I'm going to take my scissors this time, and you always want a good pair of scissors, and you're just going to try to cut it as close as you can get to that frame or hoop. What do you want to call it? You call it that. Okay? And I'm trying to stay pretty close with it. All right. And we're going to do the same thing with the top of our bunny. Okay. So that is pretty close. All right. So what are we going to do now? If you can get that even more, go for it. But I think I'm pretty good with it. I think I can get just a little bit, but not a whole lot. So what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to take some trim that I got at Hobby Lobby, and this is just like a little rosette trim, and it's $3.99 for 2 yards of it, and it's 3/4 of an inch wide. And we're going to start up here at the top, and then we're just going to glue it all the way around. Okay, so just take your glue gun, and we're going to start just a little bit here. All right, So we're going to just put it, try this again. I started it upside down. All right. And you're just going to glue it. And I do want some of that wood to kind of show through when you're looking on the side here. Okay, so I've put together the first one. This is the 8-inch, and I just put my fabric in, and I put my rosette trim that I purchased at the craft store. This is the 6-inch. I just did the same thing with the fabric. So what we're going to do is we're going to connect these now. So I'm going to meet the where we attached it with this screw mechanism here. I'm not really sure what the right word is for that. Maybe you can leave me a comment down below. We're going to take a zip tie, and we are just going to go in between these two, and we're going to flip them over. And this is how we're going to attach them. All right, so we might even use another one. So you're just going to pull it really good. Let me see here. Looking for my wire cutters. Of course, they're right in front of me. Okay. So now it is going to have a little bit of a bend. That's okay. We just want these to be attached. So I'm going to make one more. And these zip ties, I like this pack of zip ties. They're in my Amazon shop. There's 2 different packs of zip ties that I have. And this is the second set. And you get 1,000 of these. And I think they're like $19 or $20. But they're thinner. And I just really like, these are probably my favorite. Okay. So we're just going to pull on that real good. So that's not going to go anywhere. All right. So what's the next step? All right, so now that we have our top, our head, and our body, what's the next step? So I know that I've showed you guys this before, and here is a well-used piece of foam board. I get it at the Dollar Tree. And we are going to make the ears for our bunny here. So what I did is I already just kind of, honestly, I just kind of free-handed this. And let's see, this is about 5 inches long. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to trace over what I've already made so that it's pretty close in appearance. So it's just really easy. And again, this is, be careful if you're using a sharp edge like this. So now I want to use this yellow fabric to put over our ears. So I'm just going to simply find a spot where I want to use the fabric. I'm going to look at the flower again. And I think I like this right there. So I'm just going to cut with my rotary cutter around it. I want to make sure that I leave myself, oh, that's almost like a 1/2 inch. All right, so I have my first one already covered. So I'm just going to show you what I did here. I just took the back of the fabric here. I put my foam board on it. And I'm going to be really careful. I'm going to start on the middle of the long edges so that we can kind of pull the fabric pretty taut. If that's such a word, is that right? You're going to be really careful with your fingers, okay? You don't want to get glue on them like I just did. I'm convinced that I have no thumbprint here anymore. When I go to turn on an iPad, it's yeah, it's hard to do with that thumb. It doesn't recognize the print. But that's what crafters do, right? We kind of lose, we burn our fingers a lot. That's sad, but it's true. Okay, so this is kind of like the tricky part right up here. So you're just gonna kind of work with it, okay? One side at a time here. Again, we don't need perfection. You know, everything I do is not perfect, I promise you. So don't beat yourself if you're like, oh, this just doesn't look like Julie's. It's not meant to look like Julie's. It's meant to look like what you made. So, all right. And then we've got this long piece here, and I just kind of, excuse me, I have something in my throat today. I just kind of put a little bit of glue, and I'm just going to bend it over and kind of hold it there until it dries. Okay, just got myself with some glue there. All right, Okay, so the next part is to attach our ears, and we're simply just going to glue our ears on the back. So I'm just going to find out, I'm going to do them kind of at an angle. So I'm just going to look, and you're just going to, you know, do what you like. Do you like your ears this way? Do you like them to the side? What do you like? Okay, so that's what I want you to do. Okay, so I think I've got it where I wanted it. And so I'm just going to gently kind of pull this one up, and I'm going to put the glue on the back of my frame here. And then we're going to just set it down over top of our ears. Okay. All right. And I'm just going to hold it down there, and I'm going to let that dry. Okay, so we need to put a little hook on the back of our hanger here. So we're going to just take a pipe cleaner, not a zip tie, and I'm just going to loop it around, and I'm just going to make a loop. I'm going to twist it really good. And I'm just going to put some glue on this and hang it. This is just not going to be a very heavy piece. So we're just going to put a little bit of glue right in between the ears here. And I'm just going to place my hanger right in between, and I'm going to let that dry. Okay, so I want to put a bow in the middle of my bunny, so I'm just going to show you how we're going to do that. This is just some floral ribbon. It's 2.5 inches wide. I believe I got this a long time ago at Michael's, but I'm not sure, so don't hold me to that. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to make one loop, okay? And we're going to have a tail coming out this way. So I'm going to make one loop here. All right, so let's see how big that is. That's about 3 inches from my thumb to the end of the loop. It's 3 inches, okay? So I'm going to go this way and make another loop. And I want to keep it about the same, that 3 inches. So I'm going to use my measuring table, and that's about right. So now I want to make a loop that's bigger than that. So I want to just twist it, make sure the right side of the ribbon, I know it's probably hard to see in the camera, but I want to go just a little bit bigger. And now I want to keep these the same size too. So this one is about 4 inches. That's a 4-inch loop, okay? So I'm going to twist it. I'm still holding it, and I'm going to twist it so that that good side is coming up. And we're going to make another loop. And if you have a bow maker, I prefer the Pro Bow the hand, but I just wanted to make a really quick little bow here. And I want to show you how to do it by hand too, to show that you can do it. So that is, okay, 4 inches. So we're going back the other way, and we're going to do one more set of loops. So we'll have 3 loops here and 3 loops there. And I want it to be about 4 inches as well. I want it to be the same. Ribbon is kind of folding under. This is like a cotton ribbon, so this is not the normal satin type of ribbon. So I can see that that's pretty good. That's pretty close. That's where a bow maker like the Pro Bow keeps everything together for you, which is really nice too. All right. Just twist it, make sure we got the right side showing here. And then this will be our last loop. All right. Okay, so now you know how to make a bow by hand. You're just going to keep this together, and I'm going to just twist this, and I want to, we just need to have a tail as long as the other tail. So I'm just going to cut that off. I'm going to take, I'm just going to take a white pipe cleaner here. You could take wire if you wanted to. So I'm just going to go over the top, and I'm just going to twist it. Okay. So I'm going to look at our ribbon, and I'm just going to make sure all the loops are where I want it to be. That looks pretty good. So there is our ribbon. I do think I want to put, oh, I don't think I need to. I'm not going to put something in the middle. Sometimes I put it in the middle, sometimes I don't, but I don't think I really need to here. But I am going to cut these tails in such a way at an angle. Okay. So now let's put this on our bunny. Okay, so I've got my bunny here. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to wrap it around that middle section there. And I just think that this really goes nicely with this fabric. So you're just going to twist it around, and that's about it. There's so many things that you could do with this. You could have some flowers up here. You could put some pearls on it, but there's just so many different things you can do. Let me make sure you can see that. I'm going to make a little tail, and we're going to put it on the end right here, and we will be done after that. So hold on. Okay, last but not least, we're going to put a tail. So for me, this is the back of my bunny. So I want the tail to be right in the middle there. You could even put a few little loops of ribbon, but I'm going to just take some nice fluffy yarn, and I'm just going to wrap my hand around the yarn here. So let's see how many times we're going to do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think 5. Let's do one more. 6. Okay, so I'm going to slide that off, and I am going to take another pipe cleaner and just tie it around it. Okay, and I'm going to twist it really good here and see if that's going to look good here. All right, that looks like a bunny tail. And then I'm just going to cut this. These are my older scissors. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of play with it to get the look I want. So I'm going to make a little hole right in the bottom center here, and I'm going to put one piece of the pipe cleaner in this through the fabric, and then underneath this embroidery hoop. So I'm going to do it about a half an inch above it. So I just cut into it. So I'm committed at this point. Okay. And then I'm just going to twist it really good in the back. See? All right. So now he has a little bunny tail. I don't know, can you see him? I don't know, I think I'm going to make some feet for him. So hold on. I know, I said I would be done, but this is how Julie works. Julie changes her mind, so be patient with me. Okay, so I decided that I had to have some little rabbit feet on my bunny. In order to get to the same size, I have it folded over, and so I'm going to just start by just cutting almost like a little heart here, okay? And again, this does not have to be perfect, but I would recommend doing this at the same time so that at least your feet are the same. So I'm going to, like right now, this is still connected, okay? But now I'm going to just kind of cut a little indent, like a little paw would be. And you could just leave this rounded. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. Someday I'll get really good with like PDFs, and I'll have my website, and I'll say, just click on this link and you can download the PDF. I will get there, guys. I promise. Okay, just see how I'm just cutting it out, and see how I do 2 at once. And again, this is not perfect. I'm just kind of trimming it, all right? Because when we put it underneath, we can kind of position it the way we want. See, that's still together. So this was one of those projects that I thought, oh, I could do a couple projects and make one video. But no, I think I'm just going to keep this to one video. I'm sorry, guys. I want spring. Spring is inspiring me because I live in Michigan. I live in cold, dreary Michigan in the winter. So, and it's time to start doing the Easter stuff. So you're just gonna work with it, okay? So I'm just gonna shape these a little bit more and we'll come back and we'll glue them on. And put some glue right where I think I want that to be. Okay, I'm gonna just do that first one there. Now let's look on the other side. Let's make sure that we get it just about right here. On the underside here. It's pretty forgiving because you can move this around. But that's about it. I just thought it needed just a little bit something more. But I like him or her. This is a girl bunny. Definitely a girl bunny. But I'm going to put her to the side so you can see her. So what did we use in this project? Okay, we used a little bit of leftover yarn. So you could use any kind of yarn you wanted. We used some leftover fabric. Again, very cheap. I used some rosette trim that I paid $2 for. I had some 2.5-inch ribbon. I had a little bit of that foam board from the Dollar Tree and some felt. So if you're wanting an inexpensive project for this Easter, I think you might have just found it. I can't really make it so you can see the whole thing, but I think she's adorable. So if you've made it this far, let me get all my stuff out of here. If you've made it this far in my video, number one, thank you. Thank you for spending your time to watch me make something, and I hope that I inspired you to create something of your own. Number two, if you're on Facebook, join my Wreath Creators and More group. The link is in the description. Follow me on Facebook. Follow me on Instagram. We're going to be doing a big giveaway when we hit 10,000 followers there. So do me a favor, go to Instagram and follow me there and let me know you came from YouTube. And lastly, if you made it this far and if there's any type of Easter emoji that you can leave me in the comments below, make sure you leave it for me. I hope you enjoyed this. Click that notification bell. Make sure you subscribe so you can watch the next project we do at Julie's Wreath Boutique.